Now, me personally, I had no idea this movie really existed, right? I saw I kind of saw the trailer watching, another movie before it starts. They play the trailers. And I kind of saw it, but I really just ignored it. I was just like on my phone and I saw like a couple clips and I thought it'd be another generic, boring ass horror film as every other horror film this year has been. This year's catalog for horror films has been abysmal, right? Started picking up the pace now with Immaculate being a pretty mid film, in my opinion. A lot of people like that film. I personally thought it was all right at best, carried by Sydney Sweeney's performance. But now this movie, no expectations at all. Just wanted to see the latest horror film release because I personally, that's my favorite genre. I really like horror films. So went and watched it today, and my God, was I mistaken about thinking this movie was trash. Because this is far, and I mean far from garbage, okay? This is potentially like, when I saw the trailer, listen, when I saw the trailer, like the original trailer, like the day before it came out, so basically on Wednesday, was it? I don't know. I was watching the LSU Iowa game, and the trailer for this movie came out and it says the most horrifying movie of the year. Now that's already like an indication for me that the movie's garbage, because if you have to market it that way, it's probably dog shit and you have to have some sort of like, is it true, is it really the worst movie of the year aspect to get people to buy the tickets to actually see if it's the worst, the most horrifying movie of the year. And so that's where I went. That's why I went in the first place, because I saw, I'm like, bruh, you got to be kidding me. But honestly, I wouldn't say it's the scariest nor horrifying, but I would say it's the most eerie and grotesque and well written horror film. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't consider it scary, but it does have very unsettling tension moments, which makes the movie extremely enjoyable to watch. It is a very, I would say personally for me, it was a very long ride. I feel like the movie was long, but maybe that was just a me factor. There's just a couple scenes towards the third act where a bunch of moments they just go to black screen for like 10 seconds, 10-20 seconds, and you're like, okay, so is the movie over? And then suddenly we go back to another place. It's like, oh, okay. But it does work to a certain extent because the score in the movie is also phenomenal. This is the best. This is literally what I wanted from Immaculate. This is literally just of 50,000 steps better than Immaculate. This is what I'm pretty sure this is what Immaculate wanted to be, but wasn't really able to execute it perfectly. The movie is very eerie, very creepy. It's not really jump scary. It's more like, what is going on, where are we going with this, how is this connected to this, and how are we solving this. They don't really show you personally what's going on, but you're kind of getting the idea in your head, which is works psychologically, which is what I like about horror films. And I feel like that is where horror films work the best. It's when it brings on psychology, not just like showcase the monster or whatever it is with a bunch of jump scare. Boom, you have a horror film. That for me doesn't work, and that's why I cut movies like that. I immediately get bored. But at no point in this movie was I bored or felt that way at all. Needless to say, there's a couple jump scares in the movie. It's only at the beginning, really. There's a bunch of like insidious type of jump scares. There's literally such a predictable jump scare in the movie that I was like, bro, are you serious? Like, why did they keep this even in? Because the jump scare kind of would have worked, but it didn't because it took too long to make it work. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was too predictable. You could see it. You could literally see through it. I did not see, and there was even old people and the like old. I'm talking about old people in the theater. Not even they got scared. So like the jump scares weren't really good. Like, they weren't really good at all. I mean, when is a jump scare good? Let's be real. It's been a long time since that. But yeah, it was just a very weak jump scare. Really not necessary at all. At that point, they would have done a better job making it creepier rather than just a jump scare. But regardless of the matter, something that's very underrated in this movie, which I haven't seen a lot of people talk about because I've been dabbling along a couple of reviews before recording this one because it was a long ride home. a lot of people don't seem to mention the cinematography in this film. I thought the cinematography in this film was astronomical. I thought this was up there, way better than Immaculate. Like I said, this is just a better version of Immaculate, really, because it kind of touches on the same themes. There was a point in the movie where I was like, "Where's Cindy Sweeney showing up?" Because this is kind of like the same fucking shit, only that we're in Rome this time. So there's so many shots where art just very beautiful. There's the scene which is on the trailer. I wish it didn't put on the trailer because when I looked up for the thumbnail, when I looked up the First Omen, all it was literally just that shot on repeat, like screenshots of it. And it's where she's like laying on the bed and her hair is like a flower blossoming. That was such a beautiful shot, and the way to get there was really good. It was such a beautiful shot, and it kind of like set the tone to what exactly is going on with our main character. Which, by the way, she does an astronomical job with the performance. This is one of the greatest female performances in a horror film we've seen in a long time. And I'm talking since Pearl, okay? That was what, 2020, 2021? Yeah, 2021. I don't remember when Pearl was released, but I got it right there. Point is, this is up there with my gods and maybe even up there with Toni Collette's performance. Like, this is really just that good. There's like this scene right at the end of the movie where it's like a full one take and she has to sell something and it's like full one shot and she just sells it so perfectly. I was in awe. A lot of people were like laughing because they thought it was cringe, or I don't know why they were laughing or something. I thought it was mesmerizing. And throughout the whole film, she just plays so many different, there's so many layers to the character she's playing that it really is just something to be in awe. You know, she has to, at the beginning, she has to sell the fact that she's like this little, like, you know, shy little character that, you know, is just a good daughter of God. And then she has to go to like being a little bit, you know, start questioning where what exactly is going on here, or like what's the reasoning for this, to then at the end of the movie, you know, no spoilers, so something happens and then the thing happens and then something happens and then after something happens. So I'd say this is potentially, and it was actually just not false advertisement to call this movie the best horror film of the year. It really is. I mean, the competition isn't really there is no competition, to be honest. I mean, what the fuck are you competing against? Night Swim, like Blood and Honey. Like, come on, bro. Like, the competition isn't really that. There is no competition, right? There's no competition. You either are better than a 2 or worse. You know what I'm saying? Like, it shouldn't be that hard to make a better script than Night Swim or Imaginary or whatever, right? It shouldn't take this much brain power to do so. Nonetheless, getting all the compliments out of the way, I really don't have much to nitpick about, because really, to hate this movie, you have to actually nitpick, because I think this movie is just a great horror film to watch. I think it's a must watch for the year. I would rather you see this than any of the other horror pile of shit that has been released this year, maybe except Immaculate. But to get to perspective, this, like I said, this is exactly what Immaculate tried to be, but they went for the safer route, making jump scares rather than just fully committing to something creepy and just like engaging and making you question what you're seeing, if it's true or if it's or if it's fake, or if it's false, or is it imaginary, or what is going on with the main character, where is she going to, what is she thinking, and things like that. That's what captivates audiences and makes them talk good about the movie and potentially even watch it again. Because I personally, this is a movie that I will watch again, right? This is a movie that is definitely something that you can revisit. I didn't see the First Omen. I didn't even know this was a prequel. Like I said, I had no idea this movie even existed up until like the last 2 days before release. So, you know, I went in knowing nothing about The Omen, and I still ended up being thoroughly pleased throughout the entire movie, because it is a good time having no idea what you're walking into. So if you haven't seen the movie, I absolutely recommend you watch it. And like I said, this is quite literally and undeniably the best horror film released this year as of far. So giving this movie a rating, I'm gonna give it like a 7.5, maybe an 8, because like I said, a couple. It felt too long for me, but it felt long, but it wasn't long. You know what I'm saying? It just felt that way. But never mind. I'm just speaking out of my ass. So I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.